To the Holistically Speaking podcast, where we're teaching you to be well and be whole in your body, your joy factor, in every season and pivot of your life, in your mental health and your well-being. Are you ready for this episode? Excellent. Tune in. You won't be disappointed. We are ready for this episode, aren't we? We are ready for this episode right here. Hello, everybody. It is your well woman practitioner, LaShanna Moore of Holistically Well, joining you in another podcast called Holistically Speaking. Listen, we're going to jump right into this conversation. What is going on in our bodies? What is going on with our bodies? As I ask you those questions and you ponder them, take a look at the screen. There is your disclaimer. If you're listening, you know the disclaimer is that the information shared is the opinion and belief of mine, practitioner Moore, and Holistically Well, and to consult your physician because these topics are not designed to treat or cure any medical issues. Also, if I'm covering a faith-based or a spiritual enrichment episode, it is from the foundation of my Christian faith. All right, with that being said, I want to jump right into this episode, as I'm sure you're interested in hearing as well. We're talking about hormone weight and what's going on in our bodies when hormone weight jumps onto the scene. Well, what's going on? Well, first of all, let's look at some of the symptoms. Hormonal weight will gravitate and congregate, little wrap, around the face. For many of us, for me, it's definitely my face. For around the face, the stomach, the hips, and the thighs. Now, when I think about hormonal weight in the stomach, you see the visual fat, the fat that you can pinch. We have that. That's not more so the fact that you want to really be concerned about. You want to be concerned more so about the visceral fat. The visceral fat is the fat that you cannot see, you cannot pinch. That is the fat that is accumulating around the organs. And when they begin to accumulate around the organs, we find ourselves having a lot of other issues that we need to look into to try to solve. And so generally, I remember even as a personal trainer and going through training, when you had a client who wanted to lose weight, the general goal was just to lose weight. They were overweight. What qualifies as overweight is if I am 50 plus pounds over the normal weight range for where I should be. Okay. So before that conversation goes into a debate or we cross semantics about what a healthy body looks like, I'll leave it to that particular definition, or at least 50 plus pounds over. And then other things are happening in the body as far as your health and your mobility are concerned. But in general, we would advise, we being nutritionists and physical fitness trainers, meals, when I was doing meal planning, meals and healthy snacks. What this would do for the client was to help them understand how to eat a whole meal and how to snack without eating a lot of sugar or consuming a lot of sugar. And in general, that works. If that is a current plan that you are on and your general focus is to lose weight, then that may work for you. However, this is what I discovered when you have hormonal weight gain. And again, there are signals that let you know that you've got hormonal weight gain. There are a lot of them. I've shared them in several episodes, but just to review some of them, again, the fat is sticking. You're not burning as much fat as you once did. Maybe you're having a hard time holding on to muscle the way you once did. Your workouts and your relatively quote unquote clean eating are not working for you. You're experiencing some other things like general issues for hormonal weight gain. Well, for hormonal weight would be sluggishness, I talked about metabolic health with mitochondria in the prior episode. You are fatigued all of the time, and this is outside of the body needing iron or being deficient in other areas. Your thyroid also is out of whack. Listen, thyroid and hormone are going to go hand in hand. And if you've not had your thyroid checked in a while, I strongly encourage you to do that. Some other, I want to think of some more solid signals. Fatigue. Your sleep is off. You can't go to sleep. You see it in your body. You also feel it. You feel in your body that something is off. Listen, again, you are your first doctor. You are your first physician to really dig into the psychology of where you are. You know when mentally you're off. You know when physically you're off. You know when you're feeling different in your body, and it's not just from something that you ate. Okay. Also, sluggish gut and digestion and metabolism. Slow metabolism is another signal. And again, you're trying to do relatively healthy things, and they don't seem to be working. Okay, those are ideas. I had to think about that. I kind of stumbled through there, but I had to really, really think about that because I want to give you substantial stuff. Okay, and I don't want you to go into panic and freak out mode because I mentioned something and you've been having that issue, and it may actually be something different. It may not be that. And then you can also test. There are different tests. You know, some that I encourage. Dutch test is one that I really like to refer to. All of this will be in the show notes, and for Well Life TV, it will be in your description box. So here's the reason why you should stop snacking when you have hormonal weight. When you've got hormonal weight, the general healthy fitness philosophy of snacking is not beneficial. As a matter of fact, it is counterproductive. So take a deep breath. You know, I like to use Selah a lot. Take a deep breath. And here are some reasons why we're going to stop snacking if you have hormonal weight. Number one, you need to stabilize your insulin. So insulin resistance was once looked at for people who were diabetic, and only for diabetic people. Well, as you get older, most likely you're going to experience some form of insulin resistance. That means that the body doesn't know what to do with the insulin that is being released, and it is producing too much insulin, more than what the body can handle and manage. I'm going to keep this in really, really simple terms. And so your body begins to store that glucose. It does not metabolize it and put it into the cells so that the cells can convert it into energy. It's not really doing that. It starts to store it because it doesn't know what to do with it. So one thing that we need to do during these times, during hormonal adjustments and fluctuations, and maybe you're in one of those pauses, pre, peri, or menopause, or even post-menopause. Yes, there is a post-menopause. We want to stabilize your insulin. Your insulin needs to be stable. The next thing that we want to look at is controlling ghrelin. What is ghrelin? It is a hormone it's your hunger hormone, those hunger pains that you feel. Sometimes it may be mental because you're thinking, oh my God, I haven't eaten or I haven't had a snack. Sometimes it can be linked to, and think about this because this is the psychology part of it. Sometimes it can be linked to something that you've experienced in your life, or maybe going through famine, or maybe going through homelessness, or maybe going through long periods of time where you didn't eat. So now that you have the time to snack, you snack. Or maybe you snack because you're thinking, I don't know when I'm going to be able to eat, or I have nothing else to eat. And so when you get into a better place in life, a better state in life, sometimes the mind is still there. So you have to ask yourself, is it a psychological thing as well? Am I snacking because either I'm bored, or I am in survival mode, or I'm not sure what to eat, so I'm kind of snacking? I've got nervous energy. Think about all of those different things. So ghrelin, that particular hormone, that hunger hormone, can tend to spike. And if your blood sugar is already spiked, not controlled, not stabilized, then it will definitely tap on the door of ghrelin and say, listen, I need you to rile, I need you to create ruckus, I need you to give her or him a huge disruption because I want to snack. So during this time, we want to control ghrelin. We're not going to snack. Another reason that we're not going to snack so that we can lose hormonal weight is because we want to We want to incite and we want to encourage more fat burning. We want to be mindful that we don't want to give the body and the digestion system too much to do too often throughout the day. And so one way to control that, and one way to message to my digestion system that I want to be sensitive and gentle with you, is that I'm not going to snack like I once did. I want you to understand that it's okay to burn fat. This is us talking to our bodies. I want you to understand that it's okay to burn fat. Would you please burn fat for me? Namaste. Thank you so much. That's kind of how we are talking to our body, to our hormones. Again, the top tier thing is stabilizing the blood sugar. That's going to be a really big issue. And then the last thing that I want to focus on is that we want to prevent fatty liver. So a little bit of fat around the liver, about 10%, is fine. But once we begin to accumulate a lot of fat on the liver, how? By eating a lot of sugar, eating a lot of starches at the wrong time, and not stabilizing our blood sugar, it will bring more fat around the liver. And what that will do is it will open us up to the invitation of more disease, the possibility of more disease. So we want to prevent all of those things. All right. So what are the eating suggestions, LaShanna? What do we do? Here's a general rule. Whole meals high in protein and fat. We want to maintain good muscle tone. We want to build muscle. We want to maintain muscle. We want to keep the muscle that we build. And then we want the healthy fats to burn. The main idea here is, as I stabilize my blood sugar, my food is free to do what it needs to do. And then one of the areas that we will begin to see the difference is the fat beginning to melt around the midsection for sure. I'll come back with more details. This is just a mini episode that I wanted to share regarding snacking. Getting you to understand that if you are snacking, even for those of you who are trying to snack well or snack healthy and you're not seeing results that you want, that this may be the reason why. And also wanted to give you reasons why you need to stop snacking, and then what to do in the place of snacking. So you're going to have a really good talk with your mind, because if you've been in the habit of eating little snacks or having little snacks between meals, this is going to be something very different for you. Here's the last thing that I want to share with you. Losing hormonal weight, contrary to popular belief, for all of the, sensational things that you have heard, is not always easy. It takes time for your body, for your brain, and for your stomach, and for your organs and your hormones to receive the message that they can begin doing something different. All of these things are happening primarily because the body thinks that it's trying to protect you. That's the reason. That's the reason why we were created, why God created us so wonderfully, is because the body really kind of knows what to do. So sometimes when there's a miswiring and there will be a misfire, we start to have a little battle. We start having battles with the body that we once did not have. And so I want you to start here. I want you to start considering, how can I build my meals around high protein and fat? And that is whether you are a plant-based protein eater or an animal protein eater. How can you begin to build meals around protein and high fat? Here's the idea: eating, absorption, digestion, energy conversion, converting that food into nutrients, glucose transportation to the cells, and not to the fat, not to storage for fat. When that happens, you'll begin to see a big difference. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to share for this particular episode. Make sure that you have subscribed and share this episode. And thank you for watching. Until the next time, you already know what to do. Be well and be whole.